everybody, Karen Roby here. We're talking today about the city of Memphis addressing a problem that so many other cities face, and that is with potholes. What to do with them. The CIO for the city of Memphis and the mayor turned to some new partners to fix the problem and address it in a different way. Mike Rodriguez, thanks for being with us here today.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to join you today.
This is really interesting what you guys did. You turned to AI, machine learning, to address the problem with potholes. Tell us about this. How big of a problem were you facing?
Yeah, so Memphis is a little unique in that they've kind of underfunded the efforts to fill potholes or pave streets since like 2010. So what that meant was we had a cycle going that a road would be paved every 75 years, which is somewhat insane since I guess the practices average around 25 years. So we found ourselves with a lot of potholes, and we've got a lot of roads that's about 324 square miles, or about 6,800 lane miles, which is enough to drive all the way to California and back more than one time. So our problem's somewhat big, and we were trying to solve that problem. I remember the day the mayor asked me, Mike, is there an innovative way we can approach this issue? What can we do to try and solve this problem? It wasn't a week later, I was in a conference and I was sitting at a table with a number of Google representatives, and I started asking them what they thought they might be able to do to help us challenge this issue and try and solve the problem. And that's how this first thought came about with, let's see what we can do together to try and solve this problem.
Yeah, and it is a huge problem. It costs, drivers so much money and it damages their cars. And obviously for the city, it's a constant thing, probably feeling like you're chasing your tail. So tell us about what you did specifically, how you set up this program, and what the program actually looks like.
So the first thing we did is we tried to think differently about how to solve it. As you know, if you look at a pothole issue from the driver's perspective, you're really not even concerned about it until it's big enough for it to impact your drive. And the way the city of Memphis does it is most of the citizens who complain then give us attention to where those potholes are, and then we send a crew out to try and fix those potholes. And then they discover more potholes. So that's how we were addressing the problem. What we decided to do is inventory all the assets we had and try and approach it differently. One of the assets we had was video that was recorded off the front of our MATA buses. MATA buses travel most of the routes that bring us concerns and issues with potholes. So by taking that video, applying machine learning to it, we were able to teach the computer basically how to identify potholes and then mark those potholes for us to start repairing those potholes. It gave us a lot more insights on the conditions of our streets, but it also gave us the ability to get ahead of the demand. We didn't have to wait any longer for citizens to make complaints. We started getting visibility immediately on those potholes. And if you go a little bit further with machine learning, we're considering the opportunity of overlaying weather patterns on what makes potholes go from 6 inches to 12 inches. Memphis has all 4 seasons. It rains quite a bit during the winter. We have a lot of freezes and thaws and freezes and thaws, which takes a small hole and turns it into a large pothole. At the same time, in the winter, it's a hard time to try and pave potholes because you have to have the right temperature and it can't be raining, which you see a lot at that time. So by doing this, we can start looking at patterns and see what weather patterns come through and take a 3-inch hole, turn it into a 6-inch hole, and turn it into a 12-inch hole. And we can start paving those 3-inch holes before they actually start impacting the citizens.
Wow, that's really fantastic. And in terms of your reaction, what did you think when you started seeing the data, when it started coming in? Were you surprised by it or just relieved? I'm sure the mayor was.
So yeah, I mean, we were really excited to see that this opened the door on how we address that problem. No longer are we asking our citizens to tell us when they're having a problem. We understand what's going to be a problem for them, and we try and get ahead of that. As we've improved the video feeds off the front of the MATA buses, our abilities have actually grown in identifying other issues. So yes, we started with potholes, but we're also looking at a lot of other things in terms of street conditions so that we can better manage that process.
Well, that leads me actually to my next question. Mike, so much of we're talking about now with smart cities and with the video technology now and with sensors and IoT devices, all of these things, cities are getting smarter and able to detect things ahead of time. So this is just one more step, it seems, in terms of being a smarter city.
It is, and it's actually leveraging something I think we all have. We have video that's literally being recorded in community centers and libraries and schools, and it's just there for when there's an issue. Using this type technology, you're able to educate your insights, and you can make decisions based on things that are occurring at the moment. We like to say our situational awareness is growing. We're going to know when you have a problem, we're going to get ahead of it. If the video from the Matabus happens to catch a field that's growing and not being attended to, we can train the computer to identify that, alert us, and then we can send someone to go cut the grass before the citizen calls us and says, this is out of control. Those kind of thinkings, it's really changing the way we look at what we do and how we do it.
And in terms of partnerships, Mike, talk a little bit about how, when it comes to IT and to moving forward with technology, how important partnerships are, you're finding, to solve problems like this.
So the partnerships internally have greatly changed the way the other departments see the value of what we can do with technology. I don't know that it's the dynamic change between how they used to use technology, but if you think about it, the old world, they would gather all of the complaints, and then they would go about addressing those. Now we have the ability to alert them when they're in the area where there's an issue, so they can start attacking that issue. And it's really making that partnership get tighter within the business. And then if you look at externally, us leveraging Google and Spring ML, who are the partners that we're working with, it allows us to be a lot more innovative on a government side than normally we would be, because you have to build an infrastructure, first of all, to try and do some of these things. We're leveraging the Google Cloud and the expertise that Spring ML is bringing to the table, and we're moving quicker on innovative solutions for the city.
Fantastic. All right, Michael, we certainly appreciate you being with us here today and sharing some of the success that you guys are having there in the city of Memphis. And if you'd like to learn more on the program and what they're doing there in Memphis to help with the problem of potholes, make sure you check out TechRepublic and ZDNet.